Hello ladies and gentle ladies, and welcome to the 5th Industria devlog. So in this devlog I'm just going to firstly go ahead and recap what I've done, and then we'll talk about exactly what I plan to do next. So the first thing I've done since the last devlog, since it's been a long time, even as of recording this, I first worked on the tree decapitator. So originally this didn't kind of render anything. Now I've just got it to render the tree. You can see it in here. I'll just try and go in. You see it's quite small at the moment because I'm still kind of working on the math to figure out how to make that work to the right size, because obviously ideally it would be like the size of the whole thing. But yeah, not at this current moment. It's also off the ground, which isn't great either. So that's the kind of the first thing I did. Fairly basic. I haven't really changed anything else with it. And then the next thing I worked on, I wanted to do something new, and I thought this was a good idea. Okay, that's moving around really weirdly. But this is the Entity Interactor. So essentially, this is a block that can interact with entities in a radius around that block. It's fairly simple. So you have your player in here, and you can give it whatever. You can give it, armor, like that, and it will wear armor. You can give it tools and offhand slots and etc. You see it's currently rendering in the world like this, which is a bug, so it's not meant to do that. Because this is technically an actual player. I don't know if I can tab, no. But this is technically an actual player here, or a fake player, I should say. And if I come into here, you can also see the energy here. This is the energy bar, and there's also a tick rate for like how often it will do it, which would obviously consume more energy the higher the tick rate. Fairly obvious stuff. And if I come into this S button here, this is the settings, and I just have a bunch of temporary kind of example settings here. So I have like the game mode, so survival, creative, adventure, spectator. I have the currently selected slot, so it's currently selected to 1, but you could change that to a different slot. And you'll notice there's a lot of little bugs here as well. So like when I click this, you see this, his head kind of jitters around. And you also see like the lighting, that's really messed up. Those are all bugs that I am aware of, and they're on my bug tracker. I'll fix them at some point. Also have XP here, which I think is really cool. So you can kind of change it here, and that'll take XP away from you. So if I was in survival, game mode survival, and I come into here, I add an XP level, you see my XP changes down here. Fairly basic stuff. This is the actual XP down here. This is the levels up here. So I can do that. And you see that increases his XP. And it will just wrap around like normal. And boom. And then finally, this weird kind of black panel here. This will just be for potion effects. So the current effects that the fake player will have. So you could press this button down here, which would be like an add button, and it brings you to this, which is just an autocomplete. You type in whatever you want. So glowing, which is it's there, but it's kind of janky at the moment, as you can see. And the idea is there would just be a button to like accept it, and then it would get added to this scroll panel here. That's the idea. Fairly simple. And then I kind of left that alone because there's still a lot of stuff to do with this, and I might even end up ditching it. I'm not sure as of this current moment. And the next thing I went to is back to the rubber process. So even though I did say I wasn't sure whether I wanted to keep this whole process, I quite enjoy working on it. So I've come back to the Agitator. And what I want to kind of get working is I want to have like a sided input output for the fluids, which is going to require a lot of like code rewriting and stuff. Yeah, that would be nice. And there's also some bugs with like fluid rendering in here, which I need to fix as well. And maybe I want to get it to render a fluid like in here. That would be super cool. And if I could get those textures to like blend together or something, that'd be awesome. But I'm not sure how feasible that is. So that's kind of my next thing. Oh, one thing I did do as well. Let's just close this because that's all I wanted to show you there. But I also got the rubber trees to generate in the world. So if we just come along here, you can see there's some rubber trees generating here. Obviously, they generate in jungle biomes, because that's kind of just how it works. Yeah, and I think they fit in quite well. I mean, obviously the textures are, you know, literally just recolorations at the moment, but I think they will fit in when those textures are done too, regardless. And yeah, I think they do work quite well with the like whole canopy trees. I mean, look at this up here. That's pretty cool, right? But yeah, that's pretty much all I've done. It doesn't sound like much, as I say every single time, but it's quite a lot, trust me. The Entity Interactor, I had to do a lot for that. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this devlog is I'm going to start working on the Agitator and hopefully get that working to, you know, some extent. Alright everybody, so it's quite a long time later, probably, I actually don't know when I recorded the last one, probably a few months maybe? It's been quite a while, to say the least, because I've been doing quite a lot. So, here's the Agitator, as you can see, and I've mostly got this working, actually. So, if I place down a pipe, and I place down a water thing, obviously, because mechanism... Oh yeah, this mechanism, by the way. So, just got it as a runtime dependency, so I can test things out like this. So if I just configure this to pull, you will actually see that... What the hell? Okay, all of a sudden, it's deciding to not render the fluid color. I don't know what I changed, but it was literally working last night when I streamed it. So that's not cool. But regardless, in theory that works. And I can put in lava too. So boom, lava goes in. Oh, now it renders correctly. Okay, that's really weird. I'll fix that at some point. And you know, I can do another one as well for the liquid superheated sodium. No, what am I doing? Like that. There we go. And like that, and you see, boom, all three on top of each other in a sandwich. And the idea is, obviously, these would be the inputs, which doesn't work at the moment. That's a bug that I need to fix, but that will then blend these together. So I've had to write a shader for that, which I haven't been able to test yet because of the order of these. Like, you can see that this is liquid superheated sodium, then water, then lava. But if you look in here, it's liquid superheated sodium, lava, then water. But moreover, like these aren't the right sides. Like why is there a gap here? You know, and why? Yeah, it's just a bit weird. It shouldn't quite work like that. That's not the idea of how it should work. So I will need to go ahead and fix that. At some point, but it does mostly work. I'm considering that a win. Like if I do this, you can see it all rises in here, which is really cool, and that did actually take me quite a while to do because of how I kind of originally wrote my system. But regardless, that all works now, and yeah, mostly like some of that was done in the stream last night, just kind of fixing this part anyways, the rendering part, because I broke that somehow. So we kind of fixed that in the stream last night. But what we actually did in the stream last night is something quite fun, I think. and that is the electric heater, which is this block right here, and also a distillation unit. So the idea is that you'd place like distillation unit there. Actually, I can show you. So if I grab some blocks of iron, and if I just build, hopefully this works. I didn't get around to testing this in the stream actually, but the idea is that I can build a base like this. Obviously this isn't like final materials or anything. And if I go, I think it was pretty up. There you go. You see that replaces into this distillation unit. So this is the distillation unit, I believe. Should we see? Yeah, so that's the distillation unit, because I can't open a GUI on it at this current moment. And the idea is this would be, you know, a multi-block, of course. I haven't got it to do that yet, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. That'll be something for the next devlog, I think. And yeah, the idea is you can put your electric heaters under it, wherever that's gone. So you can put your heater under this, under the distillation unit, and depending on the heat will depend on like the certain yield of whatever output you want. So say for example you put in crude oil, you could get outputs of bitumen. I kind of forgot the outputs. Bitumen. Nope, I've completely forgotten the outputs of distillation of crude oil. Wait, that's really going to annoy me. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the idea, that at different temperatures you'll get different yields at certain points. And the idea also is that it will have like a modular height. So you could have like a maximum, you know, height of like, I think in the stream I talked about height of 8. Whether it stays like that or not is a totally different question. So it'll just be a big multi-block tower. Currently, obviously, it's built out of iron, but that's not ideal, if we're being honest, is it? So, yeah, that's something I will have to change around and decide what I'm going to make it out of. If you guys have any suggestions of, like, what the structure of it should be, I can use custom blocks for it as well. It's just a matter of what blocks should it be made out of. I'm not sure right now, but that's the idea anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've done. Doesn't seem like much, but it's a lot. You'll have to trust me with that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next devlog. Oh, and also, I'm going to be streaming tonight after this video is posted at about, I think I said 6 PM UTC. So 6 PM UTC tonight, I'm planning to do another Industria stream, which should be pretty fun. And we're probably going to continue this, just fix it, because for some reason like this isn't receiving energy from these. Like that's something I'll need to fix. And then obviously having this GUI look, you know, reasonable. And then also, hopefully, maybe getting the distillation unit to completely work. And maybe some block model animations for this would be cool. I'm not sure exactly how much will get done in the stream. But that's the idea. So yeah, I am on the rubber process branch, by the way. So that's why there's all of these missing textures here. And slowly but surely, throughout some streams and throughout the next however many devlogs, we're going to get hopefully all of these with textures, usages, models, etc., functionality. It's going to take a while, but hopefully eventually we'll get there, and then we'll be on our way to getting some good old rubber. Rubber. Yes, this one, rubber. And also at some point I'll fix the ropes again, because they still crash the game, I'm pretty sure. So we can test it, I suppose. Should we test it? If the game crashes, then it crashes. 1. And yeah, it crashes because jank code. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this devlog. I hope you did enjoy it, I suppose. The next devlog will be... I don't know, actually. It might be in the next 3 weeks, hopefully, is kind of the plan, but we'll see. So yeah, I'll see you maybe in the stream tonight or in the next devlog. Goodbye.